Hello, welcome to the weather update, and we've got to talk about Hurricane Epsilon. That's right, it is now a hurricane. Yep, it's strengthened rapidly, and it's going to continue to strengthen. Uh, and we're going to get the latest on it right now from the National Hurricane Center. So, Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft finds Epsilon is still rapidly intensifying. Could become a major hurricane later today. So we're probably going to have another update this evening on it. As of 2 p.m., its location is 29.4 north, 59.7 west, about 365 miles east southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are up to 110 miles an hour. So it just went from 90 to 110 miles an hour. It's moving west northwest at 9 miles an hour. Minimum sunspot pressure 959 millibars or 28.32 inches. So, as of 2 p.m., the eye of Hurricane Epsilon was located at near latitude 29.4 north, longitude 59.7 west. Epsilon is moving toward the west-northwest at 9 miles an hour. A turn toward the northwest is expected tonight, followed by a turn toward the north by Thursday night. On this forecast track, the center of Epsilon is forecast to make its closest approach to Bermuda Thursday afternoon or evening. An Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft has found the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 110 miles an hour with higher gusts, with some additional strengthening possible this afternoon, followed by little change in strength or possibly gradually weakening until the weekend. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 435 miles from the center. And again, the estimated minimum sunspot pressure is 959 millibars or 28.32 inches. Let's take a look at the chart. And they'll probably have to put an M here. So it's going to come close to Bermuda, but I think Bermuda already has tropical storm warning in effect. But then it's going to pretty much stay out to sea. But seeing this strong of a storm this far north is unusual, and the fact that it's going to keep its intensity is also quite unusual. So let's take a look at the latest satellite image of Epsilon here. We'll have a couple of images here we're going to look at. First, we'll do the infrared. Look at that well-defined eye. That's a really well-defined eye. Look at that. Wow. So that is definitely a rapidly intensifying storm. Very healthy. Look at that. Perfect. Looks like a donut. That's a perfect looking storm right there. And we'll look at some of the other. Look at the visible high res too on this. Look at that. That is impressive. That is really impressive. You can see all that convection going nuts in the center. That's really something. And that's what those abnormally warm water temperatures and no shearing do. Here is a wider view, and you can see just how large the storm is. I mean, if you put the storm off the let's say if you put it off the Virginia coast, it would stretch from South Carolina probably to New Jersey. At least, so it's a large storm. And then take a look down here. Draw this here for a minute. Could this be our next storm? That's a possibility. That's going to have to be watched because that looks like a pretty good sized tropical wave right there. So, wow. Really impressive stuff going on in the tropics as tropical season continues to just amaze. It really does. It really does. Let's go back to our area here as the satellite for our area. Plenty of clouds around. We do have some sun, breaks of sun. You see there's that still cold front off to the northwest there. Let's go back to the storm page on Epsilon here. And we're going to look at the model tracks here, the model guidance. Good news is there's not much disagreement on where this thing is going to go, but look at where it's heading. Looks like it's heading toward Europe. Yeah. This thing could wind up hitting Europe. How's that for crazy? So let's go back to our current conditions here, and then we'll get more into Epsilon. And it's warm out there. It's humid. Temperatures have risen already to near 70. Dew points in the mid 60s. Looks like Parts of Tom's River are well into the mid 70s already. So yeah, warming up quite nicely in Tom's River. All right now. Um, we're going to go and look at the models next. So let's go. In this update, we're going to focus mostly on Epsilon. All right, not so much looking at our neck of the woods. We're going to be looking at Epsilon. So let me change these regions here so we can take a look at the whole North Atlantic here. So here's Epsilon right here. This is the GFS. Okay, and we're going to keep it on the surface map. So you can see there's that ridge there. And you can see it's gonna deepen. It's gonna strengthen. It's gonna continue to strengthen, and then hold its strength as it heads toward Europe. And it looks like it does get absorbed into something. It looks like it might wind up hitting Iceland, maybe, and then kind of getting sucked there. So we'll get absorbed into something. But this is one hell of an intense storm staying this far north. Is quite unusual to see. Quite unusual to see. And it doesn't really do anything with that wave, which I'm kind of surprised about, because that wave looked pretty impressive on there. That was coming off. It really doesn't do anything with it. I don't know if I'm agreeing with that. But that is what it looks like. That's what the GFS looks like anyway. You can go to the upper air. Again, there's that ridge. There's Epsilon. And it kind of just gets absorbed into this deeper trough eventually. So hopefully that'll save the United Kingdom from getting a hurricane. But quite an unusual setup right there. Right. Now let me go look at the European. So I don't have that much in yet of that. All right, we're going to go to windy.com. Get a closer look at the model on this, so we could already see Epsilon here. Look at that. This thing is already, like I said, maximum sustained winds are 110 miles an hour. This is not the wind gusts. Let's get that the wind gusts here. And it's already ahead of the models, because the models are nowhere near that. So the models have underestimated how strong this thing is. This is the European. Already they've underestimated how strong it is. It's stronger than model, so look at it here. Kind of just holds its own. This is the Euro. It's too weak. I mean, the Euro, its strength is all off. You can see, though, that the slow movement of it as it moves out. But I mean, it finally strengthens it more when it gets this far out, which is kind of scary. So how strong is it going to be when it's over here? We're going to talk about a Category 4 hurricane this far north. Hey, it's possible. Because it's off with the strength right now, right off the bat. Let's look at the GFS, see if it's any better. Nope. The maximum sustained winds are up to 110 already. So this is a scary trend that we're seeing, is that the models are way off with the intensification of these storms. And they're intensifying much more rapidly than the models say. And that's all because of the above normal water temperatures. That the models cannot handle how fast the climate is changing. So if the model has it's getting stronger over here and it's already 110, how strong is it going to be when it's over here? It could be so large there could still be effects on St. John's. There could be. So this is a storm that's going to have to be watched. Again, a monster hurricane, Hurricane Epsilon. This is an old information now, because the maximum sustained winds are now up to 110 miles an hour. They went from 90 to 110 miles an hour. So this is a rapidly strengthening hurricane that fortunately is not really making any direct impacts on land. But this is just another example of what we're dealing with as the planet undergoes this rapid climate change that really people should be talking about. Take care, and thank you for watching.